I'm AJ McLaughlin.
I'm Ryan Ruiz.
I'm DJ Rich.
I'm Ruben Cesar Telford.
I'm Clinty Martinez.
And we are the hosts of Opinions and Consequences, the podcast, the show where your opinions can lead to consequences.
Really
so,
good, man.
choose your
The
words
boys
wisely.
back in the building, man. You already know the vibes, man. So it's AJ McLaughlin and we in the A, baby. What's good, baby?
What's good,
yo? Mo's back in the building, baby. Like it's like you never left. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like you never left, man. How's everything, baby?
Yo, everything's yo. You came to the A. Yo, they always say, you know somebody cares or loves about you when they get on the plane and come see you.
On Dennis.
So with that said, man, you know I appreciate it.
Nah, you know, I kept a promise.
You did.
I kept the promise, even as a short one.
I was like, I don't know.
Because listen, people, I'm only in the building for about the building. You feel me? Like by the time the light shuts off, like yo, that's it. Lights is out. I'm already on the plane. I'm already on the plane. But yo, listen, I ain't gonna lie. The weather's alright out here. But I ain't gonna lie. Boston's about the same weather.
I know. It's been every time. Yeah, as you know, coming from Boston, everybody from Boston is asking for the weather from Atlanta. Everybody from Atlanta is asking for the weather about Boston. But yeah, I still like Georgia. Georgia, oh Georgia.
Nah, but that's what's up, man. I haven't been in the A for a minute.
You gotta stay longer than 2 hours and a half.
Don't do that.
Brother comes for 2.5 hours. Hey, let's get this done.
I sound like a parent in a supermarket.
Yo, you just sound
go grab that.
I just think you're just a very efficient person. It's like the dude that come in the weight room and just put on 315. Hey, yo, let's go.
Hurry up. Go ahead. Lift.
Let's get to it.
Yo, and that's really how I am in the gym though.
Right.
No bull.
Well, you a beast though. You a beast. Legit.
We both beast.
Respect.
Listen, you heard it. Listen, we're gonna get right into the meat and potatoes, people, guys. First question I do want to ask you is, how do you maintain the balance between your pride, self-love, and reality? And I think this is important, you know what I mean? Because I just feel like a lot of people don't understand that balance.
Right.
How do you personally maintain that balance?
You know, that word balance is fluid and subjective. You know what I mean? Because sometimes everything is aligned and balanced, and some things where, depending on the season or the urgency and the importance of that particular season in your life, you might have to swing that pendulum and just more self-love. Then another time you might have to do, what's the first thing you said?
Maintain balance.
Or to maintain the balance. I think that for every decision you make, it produces a season. And then every season, it produces a cycle.
Okay.
Right? And sometimes some seasons are more important than others.
Than other seasons.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo, let me see if I get you a clap on that one. I gotta get him a clap. Hold on.
Right?
Okay.
So for instance, you know, your trip here to Atlanta is like kind of a microcosm of what I'm saying. You know, we only got time for what we doing.
Correct.
We ain't got time. Hey, yo, let's chill. Let's go to the gym. Let me show you here. Let's get this bite to eat. No, we just got time to do this show. That's it.
We're
coming in doing the show. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you would love sometimes to have the luxury
to be able
to allot a certain amount of time as you see appropriate. But sometimes life doesn't allow that. See what I'm saying?
I'm with you on that. I'm with him on that just because, you know, it's, and you know, the world that we live in, it's just one of those things where it's so tough to maintain that balance. Because, you know, you got yourself where you're like, yo, listen, all right, you want self-love. And because, you know why, and this is why it's important with this whole, this show, because, you know, the show title is, I don't know, you tell me. And we got a lot of juicy stuff to talk about, pause. But the whole thing is just like, with self-love, with the reality of certain situations, the gravity, and the pride.
Right.
How do you maintain that back? Because it's, you may think that you guys, you might do 33 equals 100, okay, right? But at the end of the day,
right,
some overachieve other things.
Yeah. So for instance, I think that when you start something new, you got to remove the pride. You got to be humble. You got to be a student, right? You got to understand you're about to take some lumps.
You are.
And you got to think long term. Then other times, once you know what you know what I'm saying? Then now you can kind of say, you know, I could focus more on the self-love that I deprived myself when I was a student because I didn't have I couldn't have the luxury again to maybe go get the pedicures, go to the this, go to the right? Because I had to do what I had to do when I was told to do it, right? So sometimes you got to do what you need to do so you can do what you want to do, and I think that it's just this cycle. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's important to love you. Well, it's always important to love yourself, but sometimes you don't have that luxury of depending on what season in life you are.
No, it's true. It's true because you know what I mean. You have to sometimes forfeit pride, self-love, and the reality.
Right.
But the reality, I think, is always 100%.
I agree with that.
The reality is 100%.
I think the reality is perpetual. That ain't never changing. This is the reality, right?
That's the background.
Right.
That's something that you have to. The reality, you have to now determine how much pride and self-love is going to dictate where it's going to go based off
the reality's permanent and perpetual. The pride and the self-love. Self-love is always important. I can't emphasize that enough. However, sometimes that could be interchangeable. Sometimes you gotta grit, lock in, and go after what you're going after and go in that tunnel.
You're right.
You know.
We're gonna come back to this because you know why? Because it's so funny that we're talking about reality. Mm-hmm. But what about the people that fantasize a lot? Go ahead, Mom, man. What did you have to talk about?
I just wanted to tell you about a scenario since you got in the
Okay.
So, as you know, we single, man. We out and about.
Okay.
So, I was in a situation where I went to this venue, and there was a young lady sitting next to me at the bar, right? And the owner was getting after her. The bartender was even getting after her. So, you know, you had to just pick your spots, right?
Yeah.
So I spoke to her when they wasn't around. You know what I mean? Get that energy going. She it was reciprocal. More importantly, you know what I mean. More importantly, she chose me, right? And then when they came back, said what they said, I didn't interfere. I let them say what they said. I let them do what they do.
Okay.
Because I was just like, so it creates this competitive, unspoken environment. So my question to you, when you're in those situations, how do you approach it? Do you become defensive? Do you kind of block the bartender, block the owner? Or do you just have the confidence in yourself to say, hey, she gonna select who she gonna select?
I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, game recognize game, people. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna step on no one's toes as long as they're not stepping on my toes. Like, my whole thing is like this. I respect game as long as your game is not subjective to bringing down that other person, your competition. Right. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with if it's all fair and throughout, where it's just kind of like, yo, if they hit you with the someone's trying to holler at her, but you be like, yo, you really trying to holler at him? He drives a Beetle with 2 doors. It's one of those things where it's like, yo, bro, like, if that's what you got to do to elevate your chances, you scumbag, bro. I don't give you credit for that. I don't give you credit for that.
Yeah, I just thought like the younger self. I mean, when I wasn't as patient, you know what I mean? Maybe I was a little bit more aggressive.
Looking for revenge.
I always would have handled myself how it was, but it just, at 44, it just made me think like the 20-year-olds where they would have been like, yo, give me your number. When they see the bartender, they see the owner, maybe they put a little bit too much energy on their status, oh, that's the owner, that's the bartender, as opposed to being competitive yourself. But we might be just biased because we're athletes and we always.
And that's what it is.
We always lean on confidence. You know what I mean?
We definitely lean on confidence, people. But most importantly, like I like to do the close the deal.
Right.
Like, yo, grab the fish. Yo, what's up? Boom, boom, talk. Listen, I'm giving you my game. So I talk, and then next thing you know, I'm like, yo, what's your number?
Right.
Like shit. Whatever happens after that is out of my hands.
Like, but like Nas say, don't
but
you know?
I know, but that's
attract, not chase.
I know,
don't chase.
But that's
you
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if I were to seal the deal, like, yo, what's up? Yo, let me get your number. Mm-hmm. I'm about to get up out of here. And, fair game for anybody else. Yeah. Fair game.
I'll deliberately not speak. I'll deliberately not initiate to see if she engages.
Really?
Because that also will dictate her interest.
Okay.
Like if you're talking, engage, initiating, you are maintaining and sustaining that without her contribution. So you don't really know. It's kind of ambiguous if that's just all you generate this excitement because you talking. But if she's not asking questions, if she's not, re-entering the conversation. Once the bartender comes, once the owner comes, say whatever they say. If she like, well, okay then Jamal, okay then AJ. If it's always you engaging, then it's an altered reality. You know what I mean? It's an altered reality.
I get what you're saying there, just because, but it comes back down to somebody depends on the female that you're engaging or entertaining.
Right.
Is going to determine how they receive it.
Correct.
So in other words, like it could be like, oh, he's mad thirsty, or he's not trying hard enough.
Right.
Or you know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's just like you can never, ever be in a place where you're like you don't know.
Right.
So you have to kind of play that middle part where you're just like you give them enough attention, but don't smother them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's enough gravy, but just don't put too much on the mash. Like you feel me? Like.
Well, that's why this is a great question. You know what I mean? And I think the only way to find out is to find out. And the most important thing is to speak because there's this growing noise and narrative that men don't approach women, and I don't know that in my circle. Because that's just how we've been bred.
We go after. We hunt.
So, but also talking about how we was built, I want to segue over to something else that's been dominating the head time in a very sensitive, personal, private matter on a lot of fronts, and that's with Tua down in Miami Dolphins quarterback. With the concussion, he recently, the Miami Dolphins recently put him on IR, which means that he has to sit out at least 4 games, which I think is appropriate because that allows him to kind of do his due diligence,
soaking him,
consult with as many neurologists as possible, gather as much information as far as concussions because this is 4th.
This is real talk, people.
So what is your thoughts, just in short, about the Tua situation? And I mean, obvious question, if you was Tua, what camp are you in? Are you in a camp of he shouldn't play, or are you in a camp to see if he can play? He should play. As a former athlete, or as a former professional athlete yourself.
And that's a tough part. That's the tough part, yeah, because you know what I mean. As an athlete, I'm like, yo, it's tough, people. Like, you know what I mean? It's not to pull a man card or anything like that. But a lot of times people got to realize, like, yo, football is a man's sport. Yeah. It's a rough sport. So this, like, stuff like this, could mess up your psyche.
Absolutely.
In terms of, oh yeah, he's not built for the game.
Yeah.
Oh, he's soft. Like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of different connotations that other people could make about Tua, or anybody else professionally, where like, yo, if they get hurt, that's what they're gonna label you as.
Yeah, but Tua's situation is a little bit unique and different in my situation because he just secured that money.
Correct.
Right, which was injury guaranteed.
Yep.
Furthermore, he has the nation watching, particularly the mothers and females that just have been so vocal about and adamant that he shouldn't play, and he secured enough money for his family. Think about his family, got daughters, his wife. So if they're on one front, depending on how you're looking at it, is he will be champion applauded if he decided to walk away. Now, you and I both know it's not that easy.
No.
It's not. There will be a counter. There will be a rebuttal. There's this thing called football. Then there's this thing called the business of football. And you and I both know that it's not gonna be that simple.
It's not that simple, people. It's not like how, like, for a lot of people that know, like, famous names like Tim Tebow. Like Tim Tebow, he was able to walk away. Thank God.
Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck was able to walk away and all that stuff, and there wasn't as much pressure on them, just because they didn't secure the bag.
Well, Andrew did. Andrew walked away from tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, because he was in the line of the next echelon of great quarterbacks.
Correct.
And he would have just continued to just sign more contracts. And he literally walked away from tens of millions of dollars. But this is a little bit. Yeah, it was father. He has a lineage.
He does.
His pedigree. You know what I mean? His father was in the league with Stanford. And
he was a commissioner of the.
Yes, the alternative league.
Alternative.
The alternative football at the XFL.
Yep.
The XFL. So his was a little bit different because it's more clear about, okay, if he left, what's he gonna be doing? So he had the resources, he had the infrastructure already in play for the pivot. This is a little bit unknown, and just given again just the severity of concussion, especially his 4 concussions. So now medically, I would imagine that they are, examining his blood to see the health of the brain and the recovery. I would imagine that they're asking him, how did you sleep last night? Did you eat yesterday? How you feel? Those are typically the type of questions that would just be during this time frame, asked daily and just checking on it. And if anything that doesn't sound right, I think it just will be taken extremely serious, and it would just it's just one of those things.
It's a lot of times people don't know that, viewers and listeners like out there, that there's this thing called CTE, and a lot of times people have been very vocal about, like, the hints and all that stuff. This could cause it, and therefore you could do crazy stuff and all that extra stuff. So, like,
but you know what? Let's just keep it 100 too, because, like, yeah, CTE, yeah, we know. But ladies and gentlemen, any football player, the first thing he does before he or she, because we have had female football players, before you receive your helmet, before you receive your shoulder pads, you gotta sign a waiver. You gotta sign a piece of paper to say that got language like fatality on there, play at your own risk, concussions is definitely on there. So we know what we signed up for.
No, that
you know what I'm saying? So yes, it's serious, but I think that the growing noise is really circulating the fact that he secured the bag. He has guaranteed money that is an absorbent amount where it is life changing, where it does, if you're you're a civilian, because you're not thinking like a civilian, while you're playing, but as a civilian thinking, okay, you could get $70-90 million and walk away and live with your life, but you and I both know it's just not going to be that simple.
It's not that simple. And just like you said, just walking away. Could we talk about take that, Mr. Diddy, really quick? Because I don't think he's walking away. They just denied his bond. I don't know if anybody's been under the rock for the past 72 hours, but they just arrested him officially. They've unsealed and said that he's arrested for racketeering, prostitution, drug substance abuse, all this extra stuff. And the biggest thing right now is just that he's gonna have to sit in jail until court.
Yeah, I think already the reality of the seriousness of the karma,
correct,
that he's placed out, and all of the violence and just the despicable, horrendous acts that is alleged in his indictment, you know, he has to finally start thinking about that and experience the reality that he'll be locked up. Now, with respects to it, I just think that two things come to mind very quickly. Number one, say no to drugs. And if you don't have the willpower to say no, then I'll say minimize that, but just be careful with the drug thing, because I think that had a lot to do with it, but obviously he was who he was as well, right? Secondly is, since I was about 3-4 years old, my grandmother used to always read the passage in the Bible, and I think it's very fitting. It basically said, what good is it if you gain the world, yet you lose your soul in the process?
Big facts.
Right? And it don't get no more famous than Diddy.
No.
The lifestyle, luxury, and just the notoriety, and just the fame, and all of the bells and whistles that comes along with celebrity.
Yeah.
And it also goes back with that absolute power.
Correct.
Will corrupt absolutely. And I think that this is another telltale example of that in the worst way. And I know more to come as far as who else will be implicated in that. And so my thoughts goes out to his daughters, his sons, and his mother, and rest in peace, Kim Porter. You know, that was the first thing that I thought of, because in closing with, for my part, is like, you know, them young little girls' lives are gonna change forever. You know, anytime they engage in a relationship, they may have to hear about their father. I just think that that's just gonna be on repeat. They're gonna have to really sit down and see somebody for a very long time. And this is all at the hands and decisions, you know, of somebody that they call daddy. No pun intended.
Nah, no BS. I'm with him on that. It's just one of those things where it is sad. It's very super sad that, you know, this happened, this situation happened and all that stuff, but this is a demonstration of what you can become, or what can happen to you if you abuse power.
Absolutely.
You know, it's sad because, you know what I mean, he's a marquee, he's a staple in the music industry. Mm-hmm. He's a staple in the hip hop, and the hip hop's in it, like, you know what I mean, like
just the culture. It's just the culture in itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Black culture.
Yeah.
Or white culture, just culture, and I think also just it also just rings true about how important it is, and how careful you gotta be who you choose as far as your mentors.
Yeah, you're right.
What counsel are you receiving? What behaviors are you mimicking? I think that also is at the forefront of this, because, you know, he just didn't arrive that way. That was something that, you know, he's seen a blueprint and he followed. No different from, he didn't know, you know, providing certain contracts. He was always notorious for robbing artists, but essentially that was just a standardized marketing contract. So that's just that. So all in all, man, this is just, it's heart-wrenching, it's despicable, it's disgusting, it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And, you know, at this point, it's you know, it's all in God's hands at this point. You know, we have to pray for him at this point.
We gotta pray for them.
But the legacy definitely is a wrap.
It's a tarnished legacy.
And, but it's just hopefully will serve as a cautionary tale for the next couple of generations.
Okay.
Who occupy that spot, that they choose differently. They actually do choose and exhibit love.
No, you're absolutely right.
Healthy love.
I'm with you on that. Let me ask you something before we wrap it up and get out of here. Any positive, negative remarks? Because, you know, I'm with the shits. You know,
the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh God, man.
The Atlanta Falcons beat the Eagles. I left. I was out. Barkley, you know, dropped that ball. I said, who cares? It's over.
Yeah, it's over.
I got home. I seen that final drive by Cousins. Deacon and dunking, and kicked the field. Yo, and then he threw the ball in the end zone for the touchdown.
Yo.
Yeah, man. So shout out to the Falcons. Shout out to Atlanta Falcons, my former team. Got some things in here. Yeah.
Listen, no bullshit, y'all. It was a bird versus bird, and the Falcon overcame, man. So you know what I mean. It was shout out to them.
What about yourself? You got any positive, anything negative?
You know me, man. I'm always with the shits, man.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. A little bit of words of wisdom before I go, people. The greatest gift I ever gave myself was staying out the way.
Ooh. I love that.
Staying out the way.
Yeah.
More of the story, people. If you wait till females are around to talk bad about your bros, they should jump them.
They should.
They should jump them. They should jump you, bro. They should definitely jump you, bro. That's wild.
Right. And on that heels of that too, I was told this morning, distractions sometimes address an attraction.
Hello.
Distractions sometimes addressed in attraction.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I like it.
He's in the A. AJ's in the A.
Yo, nigga,
AJ's in the A.
in the building, man. Listen, man. I want to thank you guys for watching and listening to another episode of Opinions and Consequences off the books. I don't know. You tell me. And it's crazy how the first question relates to the whole show. Like, you know what I mean? The reality and the boom, boom, boom. And... But we live for the A, baby. Salutations.
Yeah.